Hey guys, TommyBryson here, and this is part 2 of part 1 of the 7 best jobs for people wanting to start over. Whether it's because you want to make more money, you are just tired of your job, or you honestly just need a change. Now, there are two things I want to point out, and first of all, this video, all of the ideas, all 7 of them, come from the comment section of part 1. There are so many good jobs that take less than 2 years, make over $40,000 to $50,000, and some of them even $100,000 with real life experience that I had to include them in here. So thank you guys a ton for your comments, because I really do read them and I really do consider them for videos just like these. The second thing is, I know you guys are probably wondering, but Tommy, you missed this job and that job. But honestly, there are certain jobs I just don't feel comfortable recommending to friends. I wouldn't really want to recommend nursing because of the risk to your health, or x-ray tech because you're constantly around radiation, or military because also the risk of combat and you not coming back home to your family. So those are jobs I do recognize you can make a lot of money doing them and they don't take a lot of time, but I just really wouldn't want to put you at risk like that, and that's why I'm not including them in this list. Now, from this list, honestly, the one I'm most surprised by is number 5. It's a job I never really thought of as a job. You can do it within 3 months and you can scale it up to over $100,000, which is absolutely insane. So let's get started. Number 1 is a bus driver. And surprisingly, I spent a lot of time on buses, especially when I was in college. I would spend 3 hours every single day on a bus 5 to 6 times a week. It was not fun. And this was right around the time when bus drivers were being assaulted in New York City, and that was basically insane. But for the most part, this is a job that can make you over $50,000 to $80,000 within 3 to 6 months, which is absolutely incredible. Now, if you're asking me, Tommy, what would be your approach to actually doing this job and getting into it? The answer is, honestly, I would only really do this job on a temporary basis, because you can basically get it fairly quickly. You can get a bunch of benefits while you're there. It makes for a good job to hold off while you're trying to build something else. But the reason why I really wouldn't do it long term is because I've seen the long-term effects on bus drivers. Their backs hurt, their foot hurt. It's not a job I want to be in for long term, because the cost on the health of being sitting down all day, every day. Number 2 is industrial maintenance mechanic. It's exactly what it sounds like, and I never would have heard about it if it wasn't for a comment I got. And the guy that actually commented, he said, I've been doing it for a long time, and he's making over $130,000, which is basically a ton of money. Now, for you and me to get into it, it would take about 6 months to 2 years, depending on how complicated you actually want to make it. Obviously, there's different type of machinery, and the more specialized you are, you can make more and more money. Now, my approach, honestly, would be just to get into the ground level. And once I'm in the ground level, just basically working within 6 months and making a good amount of money, that'd be about like $40,000 to $50,000. I could basically specialize while I'm in there to make a lot of money. So number 2, I would basically use that money to fund my investments so I don't need to work anymore. Now, PS guys, although all these jobs are good for starting over, it doesn't mean I would start over in them and stay in them for decades. The goal is always to make money, invest money, and get passive income, so I don't really need to work anymore and exchange my time for money. Number 3 is freight broker. I have a cousin that actually did this, and he explained to me how everything basically works. And the whole idea is you are the middleman between the truckers and the suppliers. These are the people like Walmart. They have shipments and they want to ship it somewhere. Well, the truckers need to ship it. But how do they connect? You connect them, and you make money on each shipment that they actually do because of you. Now, my big problem and concern with jobs where I'm the middleman, I'm always thinking that somebody is working behind the scenes to cut out the middleman, because that's basically what I do. Whenever there's a middle person or a middle service, I want to cut it out, save some more money, and basically get all the benefit for myself. But while the iron is still hot, that's the time to strike, because my approach would be, I would take full advantage of the job right now, because you could work for yourself or you could work for somebody else. And if you're working for somebody else, you're making like 40 to 60 to 70K. But if you're working on your own, you can make upwards to $100 to $200,000. That's the first thing. Take full advantage. Second thing is, I wouldn't just work for myself, because sometimes you need the money. You know what I mean? So I would work for a company, make $40 to $70,000, and on my own, if the company allows it within the contract, well, I would also try to build my own reputation and make money on the side, scale it up, and then quit when I have my own stuff going on. Number 4 is an aviation mechanic. Now, honestly, whenever I hear aviation and mechanic, those two things just make me nervous. And I kind of feel like, well, I'm not really able or have the skills to be doing any machinery or mechanic work, especially with like airplanes. But I'm always reminded that basically no one is. No one is born knowing how to fix an airplane, how to maintain it, and how to do repairs, all right? No one. So this job specifically, the person who recommended it is making over $120,000, which is amazing, but your starting salary might be like around like $60,000 to $50,000, which is still not bad. But because this job has such a large ladder and you can earn so much money, the answer is I would definitely consider it not on a temporary basis, but on a long-term basis while I'm basically saving money and trying to invest my money. So I would try to get a job. And remember, you will receive training. You'll have everything you need. And if you're willing and you're available, well, you're capable of learning all these skills. I always thought that I wasn't capable of certain things, but it really is what they say, okay? If you put your mind to it, then you can do it. I believe so also. But yeah, $120,000 is a great pay, and I wouldn't really do it on a temporary basis. And there's a lot of overtime included, and that's also extra money in your pocket if you're willing to do those extra hours. Number 5, which is the most surprising one, is a gunsmith. I never thought about this being a job, honestly. For the most part, I don't know why. Now that I know about it, I'm like, duh, it's a job, right? But these people, within 3 months, you're basically working and you're able to get a job with someone and make like 40 to 50K. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? That's not really a lot of money, Tommy. I really can't live off that. Well, I could, but some people can't, okay? But my approach would be kind of strange. First, I would work for somebody, but because you're a gunsmith, it's not just like you're repairing weapons, but you can also customize it and modify them and make them a little extra special for people that want to buy it. So I would try to build a clientele, a brand, an image to work with people to modify their weapons and basically customize them in a way that makes it very interesting for them. And that's when the job becomes an over $100,000 job, when you're doing your own thing on the side. So imagine, for example, I work with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan loves weapons. I customize his weapons and so on. He starts recommending me, and before you know it, I have a list of clientele and so much work that I probably can't do it on my own, okay? But that's the idea, a gunsmith. I never thought about this. And what about you? Did you ever think about becoming a gunsmith? I never thought about it. Let me know in the comments down below. Number 6 is an HR assistant slash coordinator. This is one of those jobs that within 12 months, you're able to get into an HR department. But the problem is many people don't see the benefit in it because you're just an assistant. You're not like a full HR person and all this stuff. But the answer is this is an amazing gateway. And if you're able to start making $45,000 to $60,000 within 12 months, I'm telling you, like, what other job can you do that's an office job that's kind of basic and simple and has some scalability to it? So my approach would be, 1, I would use this to get my foot in the door. Number 2, I would use the company, well, to say the least, okay? I would use the company to fund any degrees or certificates or extra learning that I want to do to become a full-blown HR person and make potentially over $100,000. That's a very good technique that a lot of people don't use because it takes a little bit more time. But while you're waiting, you're making money. Imagine, instead of going into school for 4 years or 6 years to get a master's degree and become an HR person or whatever and make no money and you're basically in debt, well, you take 12 months, You get in as an HR assistant, you're making $45,000 to $60,000, and while you're basically taking your bachelor's or your master's degree or whatever, you're getting paid to do that, and the company is also paying for your degree. And then you have the liberty to leave and go wherever you want and make even more money. I think that's a great plan. I really like it. Number 7 is low voltage IT. Whenever I heard about IT, I always thought about the people in an office that are constantly running around and fixing the servers and making sure everything's running fine. But low voltage IT is also involved in cabling, in cameras, in networking. It's like machinery that's low voltage. And you're able to get a job like this within like 12 months or so. And again, just like aviation, just like machinery, well, these are things you're going to be trained on and you're going to be able to learn how to do. And honestly, if I liked like dealing with electricity and all this stuff, again, if you guys saw part 1, you know my dad didn't like it. I have a history with electricity. I'm not a big fan of being shocked or anything like that. So anything with things like that, I'm not really into for the most part. But if you really like IT stuff, well, this might be a great way for you to get into it, because you're able to get into it within 3 months and you can be making like around like $50,000, which is a good amount of money. Not many people can make 50K within 3 months of just doing a class or some certification, okay? So it's a good option, and you're able to scale it up to over $100,000 depending on your experience and also where you're working. But guys, that is it for this video. Let me know in the comments down below which one of these is your favorite one. Again, my favorite one has to be the gunsmith, just because it's something I never considered, and you can scale it up and you can make so much more money. But let me know in the comments down below, and also let me know in the comments down below more options, so that way I can make another video and share it also with you guys. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Subscribe to the channel, and peace.